Hi, and welcome to Montana Board of Crime Control's training for AmpliFund. Today, we're going to be going over expenses, reporting periods, and payment requests. Your training today will be provided by Danielle Wolfquill and Kara Snar. We're both grant accountants here at Montana Board of Crime Control.
Hi, this is Kara. Today we are going to start with creating and entering expenses. Once you're logged into AmpliFund, you're going to go to Grant Management and load all of the grants that you have at Board of Crime Control. If you have multiple, they will all be listed here. If you only have one, there will only be one. Make sure that you are selecting the grant in which you want to be entering your expenses on. Once you select it, it's going to bring you to the main details page. This will give you a brief summary of what has been invoiced to date and what has been paid. If you want to verify that this is accurate, please reach out to this because sometimes it may be off and we can verify that the information you are viewing is correct. From the details page, we're going to click on Post Award, Financials, and Expenses. We're going to click on the Run button over here. This will load any expenses that have already been entered. You can verify that you're not entering an expense that had been previously entered or not. And we're going to go ahead and just start adding them. If you click on the plus sign, that is the create. We're going to enter a couple of different expenses. We're going to start with some equipment today. So we're going to click on our category and select equipment, our line item, and then we're going to enter the direct cost amount. We're going to put $50. And then you need to make sure that the expense date is changed to reflect the period in which you are entering the expense. We're going to do this for the month of May. So we're going to select May 31st. Down here in the description, this is where you can add any comments that you might need to for clarification. We're going to go to the Financials tab. The Financials tab is where you're going to enter any match. You can do this right here. It's an option of dollar or percentage. We are requesting that you enter this as a dollar amount. You can calculate it on your end by the percentage, but when you enter it into AmpliFund, enter it as a dollar amount. We're going to put $10 for our amount. And now we're going to go to the Attachments tab, and we're going to attach our receipt for the equipment that we had. And you'll notice that as we scrolled through all of these tabs, the create and cancel is here. If we had made a mistake and we want to completely void this transaction, we would hit cancel, or from any of the, I entered the wrong thing here. You can see how it had an error. Oh, we have it on percentage. I want dollar. Okay, that's funny. And so back on the general tab, we're going to hit the create button. And that created our expense. We're going to enter one for personnel and fringe also, just so we have a couple of them in there for our training. So our category is going to be personnel. Our amount, 100. And then make sure our date gets updated. Right here, if you have a certain percentage that an employee is paid that you're reimbursed for, this would be a spot to make note of that. So we have an easy reference to locate. Financials, we're not going to include any match on this one. And then attachments. I just want to point out that when you're uploading your backup, please make sure that it is a PDF form And then for your personnel and fringe, just remember that we need to be having the timesheets and the payroll detail. If you want to have a quick reference of what is required for backup, that is on our website. And there is also a training for expense documents that you can view. Okay, it gave us a budget error. It says that the budget item field is required. You can see right here, I did not select that. And so it gave me an error message. So I'm going to hit create again. And now it let me create that expense. So we're going to do one last for fringe. We're going to select our category as fringe, our line item, enter our amount, and then select the date for our expense. Once again, if you have any description comments that you need, you can add it here. Financials is where your match would be. And then attachments would go here. If you have the same backup for your fringe and personnel, you don't need to attach it to both expenses. One is enough. And then we just also want to remind you that going forward, our new budgets will be simplified to have all of the line items combined into one category. So on personnel and fringe, they will be separated for admin and program staff. And then if you have supplies, you don't need to enter a line for each supply. We want those all to be grouped together into one line item. So we're going to go ahead and hit create. And that is how you enter your expenses. Continue to do so by hitting the plus for any additional expenses that you may have.
All right, now we are going to start our creating and submitting reporting periods. All right, so from the page where you were just entering expenses in, you can, or any of the pages, you can go up to your post-award, and we're going to go down to management and reporting periods. So from here, you can see which reporting periods you've already used. Since we were entering in expenses for May, we're going to do our reporting period for May. If you have not already used one that you need to, or if you've already used one, then you can't reuse it again. If there's one that you need to update and change, it would either just say opened or it'd be rejected, but we'll see how those look over here. Right now, these are all closed, so we're going to create a new one. We're going to start by hitting our plus sign. And from here, we are going to select what type of reporting period we want to include. We can do expenses or achievements. We can do either one of them at a time or both of them at the same time. Right now, we're going to do just our expenses. Now we can see what reporting period we have. So here's the May one. All right, so we select that and we hit save. If we hit cancel, we'll just go right back to where we were. So we're going to hit save. All right, so right now we have our reporting period and our dates. Right now the status is open, meaning we can make changes and adjust things. It's just going to be for expenses. And see, our total expense amount for the period is 0. That is because even though we've entered in expenses already, our number of unreviewed expenses is 3. So that is that's telling us we have things to finish working on. So we'll just scroll down the page a little bit to finish looking at everything. And in here, you can add comments regarding your payment period. You can attach a new document here if you need to, such as your general ledger or an overall accounting budget for that period from from your program. So everything right over here, we have at 0. And right down here for our total amounts is all zeros. So we don't want to submit a reporting period for 0 unless we really have no expenses that month, or a reporting period, because it could be quarterly as well. So let's go review our unreviewed expenses. So we're going to just click on our 3. And here, if you just right click on it, or if you left click on it, it'll just pull it up in this page. If you right click on it, you can pull it up in a new tab if you want. Either way works fine, whatever works best for you. All right, so now we're going to review our expenses that we have in here, and we're going to pick a custom period. And from here, you can either type in the date that you want to view. If you type in the date, make sure you type out the full year or you'll get an error. Or you can use the calendar, and either way works perfectly fine. It's whatever is easier for you. And we'll hit run when we're done typing everything in. And here you can see our 3 expenses that were entered in. And all of them say new right here. So we're going to open them up and review them. So we have our equipment. Okay. Financials, and you can review your attachments. You can open your attachments and make sure that all your supporting documentation is there. So we're going to hit our pencil so we can edit. So now it's just like you were entering it in to begin with. So we are going to change our expense status from new to reviewed. Once you've made sure everything is correct on there, and then we just hit save. If we hit cancel, then again, it won't save any of our changes. So now you can see that your expense status goes from new to reviewed. Here you can also change your different columns to see what budget category you have, or you can change any of them like that. If you've already reviewed all of them and made sure that everything was correct, you can also update your expense status by selecting all. And then if you hit the check mark, you'll mark them all as reviewed. So now that they're all reviewed, we can go back to our reporting period. And now that we've already created one, we don't have to create a new one. We can just open the one that we're working with. And as you can see, the status of this one now says open, while the rest say closed. So the only one we can make any changes to is our one for May. All right, so now we have 0 unreviewed expenses. I don't have any additional files I need to attach here. And if I needed additional comments again, I could add it there. And as we scroll down, we can see that our total amounts here come up with our total expenses here. So they're all working out together. Okay, so after you've checked all of your amounts that they match, you can come down here and we can either save the information that we're working on, or we can close it and no additional things can be updated or changed for your reporting period. Because we've already checked everything and made sure it was all correct, we can now hit close, and it will give you this little reminder here to make sure it is really what you want to, that you really want to close it. All right. That's all for that one.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and create and submit our payment request. Okay, so We're going to begin by where we just left off on our reporting periods. If you click right here at the top on reporting periods, it is going to bring you back to the main details page. No, not the details page, but it gives us the option to select the other areas in which we can work. So we're going to go to post-award, cash flow, and payment request. From here, you can see all of the payment requests that have been created, whether they've been rejected, submitted, approved, whatever the status may be. So we're going to find what we were just last working on. No, we don't have one that we were last working on. We are creating the payment request. Had you had something sent back to you from Board of Crime Control, this is where you would go and select it if you needed to make corrections to it. So we're going to select the plus to create. We're going to enter a payment request name. So for your payment request name, we want you to enter your grant name. And then either period or quarter ending, whatever your payment may be. And we were working on May. Our date created is going to stay as today's date. And then we're going to click on related reporting periods. And here is the reporting period which we just created. So we're going to select it. Our expense dates are shown. Here are amounts. Here is a field for additional expenses. Please do not enter any additional expenses in this field. We don't want to have anything there. You can see that our net cost is $170. We had a match of $10, and so our net total is $160. So we are going to enter the $160 because that is what we are requesting. Here is where you can once again enter any comments that you may need or attach any additional backup. Down here we have cancel, submit, and create. If we hit cancel, that's just going to close us out of here and nothing will be saved. Create, if you hit that, it will just save the information for your payment request so that you can come back and work on it later. Right here, if you hit submit, this is where it's going to send the payment request to Board of Crime Control. So yes, we do want to submit this, so we're going to click on it once again. And now you have successfully sent your payment request to Board of Crime Control.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to our AmpliFund training for expenses, reporting periods, and payment requests. I know there are a lot of steps, but that is unfortunately what we need to make sure that we get everything out to you on time. Please remember that if you forget to attach your reporting period to your payment request, we will need to send it back to you because it's not anything that we can attach for you. But if you have any questions about anything else, please let us know. There is also the training on the different types of expenses on our website, and there's different files for those. We do have examples as well online. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to anybody here at Montana Board of Crime Control, and we will be happy to help you.
Thanks.